And over 12 months, this one particular guy he tracks his numbers really carefully. He grew 58% in 12 months, which effectively took him to one of the worst performing salespeople to one of the best performing salespeople.
Welcome to the Master Dealmakers Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmakers Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 230. And today I'm going to give you a case study, a financial product client that I worked with where we were able to help one of their guys get a 58% increase in his sales in 12 months. So I'm going to break that down step by step, exactly how we did that, which is not dissimilar to the process that I used with other clients. But before I do that, if you've got leads that you've spoken to that haven't converted into an actual paying client yet, I want you to go to johnblakeaudio.com. What you will get there is a 15-minute audio that walks you through the exact process, step by step, on how to convert more of those people that you've spoken to, you've made an offer to, but they haven't bought yet. It is exactly what to do, what to write in your emails, when to call, what to say, when you call, what to say in your voicemails, but just as importantly, when to call and when to email over a 90-day period where you can maximize your results. What we know is that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in revenue sitting there in your pipeline, in that proposal sent column of your CRM. It's at johnblakeaudio.com. Not only will you get the 15-minute audio that walks you through the entire strategy, what you'll also get is a PDF that has the exact word-for-word scripts, exactly what to write in your emails. You can simply cut and paste. You don't even have to think about it. It's really easy to use. At johnblakeaudio.com, go grab it, put it into practice, and let me know how you go. Okay, so client of mine, one particular salesperson that we were able to help grow by 58 in 12 months. So what did we do? Now, I worked with a number of their team members, but this particular team member was really good at tracking his numbers, and we worked with him for a number of years. He was very diligent, and we helped him to grow by 58% in 12 months. So I'm going to walk you through what we did. So to start off with, I looked at what it was that was going on. So in my diagnostic, what I saw, or more importantly, what I heard as I was listening to their call recordings, was that they were not spending even nearly enough time in the discovery phase. They were effectively making an offer within 3 minutes of the call. So they weren't asking enough questions. They weren't getting clear on the why. They weren't uncovering a problem. They weren't uncovering an outcome. They weren't spending nearly enough time in discovery, and they were making what we call blind offers. And that's where you start talking about product without having really diagnosed whether there is really a problem to be solved, whether the person is motivated to solve the problem, whether there's an actual clear outcome that they want. Without those things in place, you are very, very unlikely to convert an inquiry into a paying client. And a lot of this was going on. Some of the other problems were they weren't getting back to leads. So we did some work with how they were treating new inquiries. They were asking and then answering the questions for the client. So they would ask a question, and rather than waiting for the client to respond, they would answer the question for the client using words that they were hoping that the client would say. And it's a kind of weird pattern, a weird habit that salespeople get into. So there was, in short, it was a disaster area. And the presentation, the way that they were talking about the product was probably not really that awful, but the way they were presenting the offer needed a lot of work, and the way that they were just talking too much about product without really having diagnosed any problem or clear outcome that the client wanted was a big problem. And that was showing in their results. They were really not getting the results that they wanted. They were all under budget. And so what do we do? So to start off with, we help them engage higher numbers of paid leads. And in most cases, that was just getting back to people immediately. The gold standard you may have heard me talk about is contacting on the phone 3 times in the first 2 hours, because that is your best opportunity. Anything beyond 2 hours from the point of inquiry, your likelihood of getting hold of that person plummets. It is quite frightening, the difference that even 5 minutes makes. If you get back to someone within 5 minutes, you are actually 9 times more likely to convert them. So we were engaging with leads with a higher number of leads, which means that we had more people to talk to, more people to have conversations with, qualify, make offers to. And obviously that was a good place to start in terms of creating a good base for us to be able to then work on the actual sales process itself. So that was step 1. Step 2 was listening to a bunch of calls and getting really clear on what was happening, what was going wrong, where the blockages were. And like I said, there was a whole bunch of things that were not happening on those calls that were causing them not to convert. So effectively, I rewrote the sales framework. I rewrote the script right from start to finish, the questions that were being asked, the way that the offer was being presented. And then once that was done, we trained the team in how to use it. And then it was time for the rubber to hit the road. And that was really just reviewing call recordings. Every week we would review more call recordings, and I would point out the things that the mistakes that they were making, the blockages, where they were losing sales. And over 12 months, this one particular guy who he tracks his numbers really carefully. He grew 58% in 12 months, which effectively took him to one of the worst performing salespeople to one of the best performing salespeople. And he is now the best performing salespeople in that company. I am still coaching them, still working with them. We are still listening to calls. And that is really the 4-step process. I guess the 5th step is just to continue to improve, continue to monitor the progress, to continue to listen to the calls, continue to give feedback. And that really, really has made a huge, huge difference with this particular company. And now we've got a proven framework that we can teach to new people when they start, and a proven process for coaching them and making sure that we can bring them up to speed as soon as possible. And look, it's a $13,000 sale. So, if they make a sale, it's significant. And it's a financial product. So as you can imagine, generating leads is not cheap, because there are all sorts of people trying to generate financial product type leads out there. So wanted to give you that case study. If you have got a financial product that you would like some help in selling more of, it's certainly something that I have got a lot of experience in, not just with this particular company, but with other financial planning type companies that I've worked with in the past. So happy to have a conversation about that. Best way to get in contact with me is through my website. Best way to do that is to Google John Blake Sales, and you will find a contact page on there somewhere. Contact me and we can have a chat. But in the meantime, thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.